Hello everyone, it's Morris here, and today is another day of Axie Infinity Origins Season 2 team highlight and meta-analysis. So now it's getting to the end of the Mystic era and it's day 27, so tomorrow should be the end of the Mystic era and we'll get to the final era soon. So let's actually see what is up in terms of the meta. And there is a bit of, like reminiscent of last season in that sense. Because I think at that point now we have the bug with the NS anger and the collect and protect kind of thing. So yeah, of course now not everyone has all the mystic yet, but we do see that mystic runes and charms are already available on the market, and so that's why the top players can already buy their desired runes. And so basically now unfortunately the thing is that there are some teams up here where like it's probably from before, meaning they really climbed up very high and then they just kind of stayed there because they only played like one game per day or something. So there's still that, but you do see that people are climbing up with basically this NS anger and collect and protect team with the AoE feather stuff. Once you get to a lot of feather stacks, and because of NS anger, how it's the damage scales with the rage, because each rage stack gives 3 bonus instead of 1. And yeah, it just goes very well with things like Winghorn, and then you get the free feather dagger, that kind of thing just deals insane damage, coupling with the NS anger rage stacks. So in this case, it's not really about getting into fury mode. It's really just about having, let's say, 8 or 9 rage stacks, and that gives you basically what, 24, 27 damage bonus damage. So that's pretty crazy. So that's why you can see the top is basically all very similar kind of thing. And let's just see what else is out here before I get into it. So this is another similar build, but instead of NS Anger, you do have the bird instead, and a triple owl kind of thing. So yeah, I play against this team is also very strong as well. And then let's see what else. Yeah, so NS Anger, well, beast, but looks like a bird is really very common now. This one is pretty interesting with the shrimp, right? So that's another tech to probably go against like some of the other teams where you can try to hit this one if they don't have the taunt yet. Especially with this one, maybe not, it doesn't have the taunt, then being in the mid. I guess this why this one is in the mid, because without the taunt, this is gonna get targeted if it's at the back by things like shrimp. So this one pretty interesting. So because tail is a very like good slot in terms of cards, right? Because you have things like ants, things like cotton tail, so it's actually very hard to fit into something else. But in this case, I actually managed to fit into 2 shrimp, which is very important, I guess, for this build. So yeah, I'm looking out for this one. And then what else is out there? This one I think was probably from before. I'm not too sure. So I still get the sponge bubble stuff up here, but you can see that a lot of people are really going towards the collect and protect, and then the NS anger with the winghorn beast out the back. So that's why these beasts are now very, very expensive. So if you do see like something like this, then maybe you would consider buying it just so that you can even resell it, just because these are probably going to be pretty good at the final era, just because now effectively it's like the final era. It's just that only the I guess I call it whale, maybe, like people who can afford these runes can actually buy those. Hopefully in the final era, then the prices of these will just go down so that like everyone else can actually get those as well. So I'm one of those, I guess, that I was just waiting for those. I don't want to pay like $300 just for a rune. But yeah, if it's like $30, then maybe, so let's just see how the prices will go down. But other than that, we do have some the sponge stuff up here, and also sustain is actually pretty strong, I would say, with the shield backup. So that is another thing to look out for. And let me just see what else is out here. So yeah, I quite like this one as well, actually. The triple spear kind of thing, right? So this is again like this is the carry in a way, but you do have the back as well with the tri-spike that deals quite a lot of damage. So I think this one is also pretty good. I quite like this kind of team as well. But I just feel like it might just not be able to compete with the Endless Anger, especially with the Winghorn, because I actually played quite a bit of these spears in the Epic era, and it's not bad, but then I feel like it might just be a bit hard to compete with the Winghorn because it's the same slot, right? It's the horn, and Winghorn I feel is just dealing quite a lot more damage. So well, we'll see. Maybe you can get a more optimized team like this that can actually work well. And obviously, I'm just looking at power level point of view, but of course, ultimately, we play the game for fun. So just play whatever archetype that you think is fun for you to play. And yeah, just have a realistic goal as well. Let's say, oh, you might not be able to get to what top 100 or something, right? But maybe like top 1,000 or something, and then that's not bad, right? Because not everyone is a competitive player that gets into the top 100 or something, but most of us are here to have fun. So yeah, just play whatever archetype that you think is fun. Let's say you like this kind of combo thing with the bubbles, then yeah, just go for it. Okay, so let's see what else is out here. So yeah, to be honest, Collect and Protect is really like I will say the overpowered one. I feel, even though it doesn't feel like it, it's like, okay, getting 60 shield, right? But actually getting 60 shield every other turn can be pretty strong. And I think the collect part is actually the most important because it allows you to go through a deck faster, more consistent in terms of the draw and everything. So yeah, I think like this is probably, yeah, we'll see later, it's probably the most expensive rune at the moment. And then okay, I think probably just gonna go to here because the rest is more I would say in a way similar, but also of course some of the people haven't really played that much and they are just there from before. Okay, so let's actually get into this one. Let me just refresh this and see. So top 1,000 player, here's what we see. Like, note that it's 1,000, not 100, right? And that's why like Bug is really underrepresented. Yeah, because if without the Collect and Protect, it's really not that good, I don't think. Maybe Leech would be good against Sustain, because most of the Sustain now is about shielding. But otherwise, yeah, it's this. But of course, it is not representative because actually a lot of the top players you see, right, the top 5 basically all use Collect and Protect. But the majority of the people, meaning like I guess like majority of the top players, I would say, still playing the Aqua. As I said before, is because Heart of Ocean. A lot of people are playing this new strategy, which is pretty fun. So that's why yeah, you'll probably queue into quite a lot of those if you are at that level, basically at Dragon, I would say. And then yep, so this is AoE stuff, so you do see these things. So it's pretty much the same. Yeah, so I mean, maybe have a quick look at this as well, and you can see most people are playing the Tri-Feather Earwing stuff. Alright, and then there's the Nemo as well, because that is for the ramp. And then yeah, so these are the most used yeah, cards. And interestingly, Scaly Spoon is here as well, because Scaly Spoon I think is actually pretty strong against nowadays the meta. So I think, yeah, so for sustain, this is pretty good. Okay, so let's see the runes and charms. For of course now it's mostly for a mystic because the epic is now pretty much at floor level. So let me just actually quickly refresh this and see what is it like now. And yeah, so Collect and Protect. Oh wow, going pretty crazy. I don't think anyone will buy at this price, but it has been getting snapped up pretty quickly. So there are multiple points where you just don't have any Collect and Protect available on the market. And Endless Anger, yeah, I mean, people think it might get nerfed and it's not that good already because it got nerfed, but it's still very strong. Now I feel like with the feather stuff as well. So yeah, so this is, yeah, I'm actually surprised that nobody actually played and Endless Anger in that way last season. I guess there was as well, I think, with the AoE Endless Anger as opposed to the single attack ones. So yeah, I think this is still pretty strong. And then let's see the rest. Heart of Ocean actually went up quite a bit. I think still I guess okay, but I feel like people figure out it's not that strong. So that's why I think it's at this level. And then what else is outstanding? Okay, I think Gaia, I think it's not necessary, so that's why it's not really that as high as Collect and Protect and Endless Anger. But I feel like at the end of the day, it might come down to Endless Anger, Collect and Protect, and then Gaia again. Not sure, but I think the shield backup could be quite useful. I think because Sustain really definitely used this, and it is actually proving pretty strong as well, even though they nerfed it. But because of the cocoon, basically kind of restored the power level of the shield backup. Okay, so that is for the runes, and for the charms, it's actually not that much. Let me just refresh it quickly, and yeah, rocket stem surprisingly is actually, I won't say surprisingly, it is, I think mostly for things like shrimp. I'm not so sure actually what else you would play this, because it does have a downside as well. And yeah, I just don't know about this one. So okay, I would say, yeah, this one 70. I guess it's because a lot of people playing birds, that's why, or at least bird cards. So yeah, this one, because this one gives weak, right? So that's why I'm not too sure, is this that important? But maybe against kind of a mirror, then having weak all across the board actually could be pretty strong. And then yeah, this one is insane, right? The energy drink M, one of them is yeah, this 138. So let's just click into it and see. Oh, okay, because everyone's just buying it, and this one is probably just overpriced. It is very strong because it does add banish, and then it increased the stat by 25%, so that's quite significant, especially on one of those very strong attack card, like 2 energy kind of card. But of course, yeah, I don't think that anyone will buy at this price point, but yeah, it's kind of basically, the supply is still very low at this point because it is still very early in terms of the Mystic. Of course, it's the end of the Mystic era, but it's only like Mystic is only available for a few days, so that's why. I'm pretty sure we'll see the prices go down. So okay, so enough of this price analysis. So let's actually get into today's team, and I think I'll probably just go with Staz team. It's because it's at the top, and also it's just a good representation of like how this kind of team would work. So because it's basically, you can see, right, a Collect and Protect bug with a ant. And then yeah, okay, and then the Mask of Frenzy for the I assume it should be on the Confident. And then the tape, actually I'm not too sure where the tape goes, to be honest, but we'll see when I get into it. And then yeah, a lot of tapes as well. Yeah, Scotch tape is still very, very useful, especially because you can keep them, then it thins out your deck basically for the next rotation, so that's pretty strong. And interesting that it has a Beast Energy drink S as well. So actually I want to see where this goes. Okay, so let's see. I actually quite like this interface or this website more, is because it actually shows you the rune as well of the opponent, so you can see more about exactly what they are. And of course, like here it's pretty obvious, like all these are the sponges, and yeah, this sponge team definitely cannot go against this one. Just have too much aggro that you probably can just aggro down, especially if you put the this in the mid, the Heart of Ocean in the mid, then it will just get bursted down before it can actually even have enough of the bubble. So that's what I assume happens. And let me just see. So this is interesting. Yeah, this team is the one that we've seen as well just now. So probably what I'll do is to actually, this is actually very interesting. Well, this is like triple Mystic rune, so maybe I'll actually want to look at this kind of like a mirror, but in this case it's a dawn versus the bird. And yeah, let's just go into this one. Okay, let me pause it here and let's look at Staz team first. So the bug, keeping is the bookworm, which is interesting, right? Keeping this because this will get banished, so it's not really that useful. But then I assume you do want to keep it and then maybe draw into the taunt. Really not too sure why that's the case, but we'll see maybe in the yeah, when we get into the replay of the match. And then let's just see what else. Okay, so being able to target, I think is pretty good as well, because you do you know, want to target, let's say if people play an opponent plays a Robin or something, or some sort of summons, then you can target it. But also you can, you know, choose to target the mid if yeah, the mid is the most important Axie for the opponent. So that is actually pretty strong. And then of course Mask of Frenzy on the Confident. These are also pretty strong in terms of being able to gain the shield when it's drawn, so 10 shield. Okay, so that's a pretty standard, I would say, Collect and Protect. And I would say standard, but also pretty supportive, right? And supportive in the sense that like it has some support move with the Confident, but also actually I was gonna say quite aggressive as well, because it does have 2 attacks as well. So it's not really like a all shield kind of bug. And then yeah, because it is an aggro build, right? So you don't want to have too many, like draw into too many of the shield cards. So it's literally just 1 shield card. And then Topaz is also very interesting, like keeping this because it does have a lot of banished cards, so that's why maybe this could be ramped up to pretty high value at the late game. That's why having the tape here. And of course Winghorn is for the late game, so that's why you tape it as well. And then yeah, Exekiss is a strong card. Yep, so double Contail here, so that actually allows you to out aggro some of the I guess opponent in terms of mirror matches. And then yeah, Tri-Feather is a must. And of course Healing Force, so let's just see how Healing Force goes, because Healing Force actually does quite a lot. And maybe it is the optimal rune for this kind of team, not too sure, but I guess we have to find out. Maybe Gaia is still better, like giving you a lot more health. And at the end, let's look at the Endless Anger. Well, I was gonna say bird, but it's beast, yes, but it's a bird looking like a beast. So okay, interesting. It has the you know, energy drink here of the Confidence, so basically you just gain rage pretty quickly. And then yeah, so the Grandma's Fan. Okay, so this one is like basically, yeah, this is a must play, so that you put the feather, so this allows you to get a lot of feather. And then Winghorn, you tape it, and then yeah, Earwing is pretty strong. Yeah, so everything here is just strong attack cards. Let's just look at the opponent and see. Okay, the opponent, okay, Topaz as well, so it's very similar, but in this case putting the, it doesn't have the taunt, so maybe that's one of the weakness. It uses the bug for the Cointail instead. Okay, but it does have a bit of ramp, and then yeah, but Topaz probably not as useful. But does have a Tri-Feather, so the bug is actually support in the sense of being able to gain feather and also Confident and Cointail instead of having the taunt, so maybe that's one of the differences. So that's the thing, right? Because if this goes down, it's actually pretty tough, because then you don't have the Cointail. So that's why I think this team, yeah, yeah, I will say it's still very strong, right? It's you, right? So actually, yeah, it's switched from playing Poison to now playing this, but wow, you can see triple Mystic here. And then yeah, this one I would say also very strong with the Robin, and then Kestrel can deal a lot of damage with this. Yeah, this is kind of like what I would want as well for this kind of Axie, right? Because you do want to have the Kestrel, is because you get a lot of the times you get to 10 stacks and get your Feather Dagger into your hand, and so it will be a full hand quite a lot of the times, and so Kestrel can deal a lot of damage when you have a full hand. Tri-Feather allows you to get to, you know, the max stack pretty quickly. Of course, Grandma's Fan also gives you another feather. So let me see. And also actually, this is quite important for the back, because the back requires some feather as well. So again, you can see a Tri-Feather supporting the bird as well. And then yeah, Grandma's Fan. Yeah, Little Piece. Oh, interesting. Yeah, to run Little Piece, but of course, like it's not easy to get the perfect combination. But this is already all very strong cards with a bit of a ramp. I think the only weakness is that the front might go down a bit too quickly, but that just means you don't get to have the Cointail, double Cointail. But let's just see how this one actually plays out. Okay, let's just place it 2 times. So okay, so first it's already getting the feather. So it's always good to have feather as soon as possible. Okay, so getting the damage off. Yeah, so far I'm getting a ramp, so that's also going pretty well. I think this is gonna be a pretty close game. I think. Let's just see how. Wow, it's already at 8 stacks of rage. So already dealing a lot of damage. So yeah, very quickly. So because you only have 3 stacks at the moment, but the feather use definitely an advantage. So I would say it's still very close. Okay, yep, getting the cotton tail, very important. Yeah, so already 9 stacks is already dealing a lot of damage. You can see, right? It's just this is the wing horn is already doing so much with the feather dagger, and also getting so much feather dagger as well. Yeah, I think this is just, of course, it's a good draw, but also it's just, look at the HP difference. It's just crazy. And they still have another feather dagger in hand. Okay, so now it's Yu's turn, and yeah, I feel like, I won't say it's a bit too late, but yeah, you can see this is crazy damage at 70, 80 or something across the board. And then wing horn. And this is Yu's turn to actually deal all the damage, so it's actually pretty close, to be honest. But you can see how insane the very top is, right? It's just dealing 40 something damage with each of the feather dagger. It's just unfortunate that this couldn't KO this one. Oh my goodness. Getting another. Oh, it's just, is it ran out of time? Because if they play all these, I think it would have been yeah, we should be able to finish them off. Okay, so that was, I don't know if it was just yeah, just ran out of time or something, because yeah, it just looks like just now you might have enough damage to actually KO both of these. So wow, very fast-paced game. It's just like, wow, like that, and that's it. So yeah, it's just very strong. A lot of damage, of course, from both sides. So I feel like, yeah, I think maybe the is just like not used to playing that as well, because getting so many feather daggers, because from the feather, from the runes, I think that might be the optimal optimal way of playing this kind of build. I'm not too sure, but again, I feel like this could have gone either way. So yeah, very strong. So let's look at another game. Okay, let's look at this one and see how this one goes. Okay, let me pause it here. Let's just double check. I think it's basically the same thing. So shouldn't have any difference. And let me just look at this one. So of course, everything is a challenger at this point. This one is okay. I'm cute. Okay, interesting. And let's see. So using the plan at the front, which is interesting, allows you to get to actually 500 health. So this is a very healthy team. And so maybe Shrimp is the one that actually made the difference, because the NS Anger is actually at the back, so Shrimp might be able to do something, but of course it has the Ant, so that's why this might not be as effective. But still, opponent, yeah, this is a lot of AoE Lamb as well, which is interesting. That's early game, a lot of damage, but of course this is more of a support. Yeah, it's more a Shrimp support, Shrimp and feather support kind of thing. Okay, let's just see what. Oh, so we have Gaia as well. So basically it's two plants, which I quite like. I haven't really seen that much of this. And then yeah, Earwing. So this one is the only one copy of Cotton Tail, so that's something to note. And then yeah, Winghorn. Yeah, this is kind of like the standard. Interesting to have the Mavis there. Probably not gonna get you played too much. Robin is still very strong with all these AoE multi-hit card. Yeah, so I think it's pretty standard. Well, actually not that standard, because it's using like 2 plants, but in terms of the move set, it's just, I think Robin might be the one that stands out a bit, and then yeah, Kotaro as well. So okay, let's just see, because there's really no bird and no beast, so this one is very interesting. So let's just play and see how this one goes. Okay, so let's go for the yeah, getting the feather with the Grandma's fan, and then yeah, this is a lot of feathers already. Using this or no? Okay, so tape. Oh, I guess the tape it is such that you can actually draw into it again, draw into another bug card again. Okay, so this one, just dealing damage at this point, but you can see getting a lot of shield because of the Collect and Protect. Okay, so in terms of damage, yeah, both sides are just doing the damage, and yeah, just use that card, I guess, to um, get the ants, I would assume. Yeah, because oh, is this going down now? Feels like Winghorn can, yeah. So not getting, yeah. So this is the part where, yeah, not getting the ant early was the mistake. I think last turn should have tried to get the ant, because now I think the back get bursted down, and I think that's why Staz lost this game. And yeah, it's just, I won't say unfortunate, but I guess like it was maybe a bit of a misplay. Yeah, so Shrimp, you can see that Shrimp is the one that actually I guess sealed the deal here, because just enough to actually, yeah, finish it off. Well, of course with Shrimp and the Corn Tail as well. So it's a very, exact combination of card, but also with the ramp, I think. Because without the ramp, won't be able to play the Corn Tail or gain an extra energy. So of course a lot of things has to go well for the opponent, but in this case it did. So now that you've lost your Endless Anger Beast, it's gonna be a lot slower in terms of damage. Let's just see how this plays out. Gonna probably play the Winghorn, yep. But then at this point, I won't say it's too late, but it's gonna be, yeah, a bit slow compared to the opponent. It's because opponents still have like the back two very healthy. Even though I think can't even finish off the front. So yeah, I think if Winghorn or something, it should be GG's. Yep. So interesting to use that Winghorn. But because it has, I guess because it has more feather stack. And yeah, it's yeah, I think these feather daggers should be enough to finish it off. So you can see how this kind of team plays out. And the one thing to note is that, yeah, it's very interesting, is because now it's really about the health, right? Because if it's not for Gaia and things like, then these will not, probably might not have survived. And so maybe Gaia is still pretty strong for this kind of team, where it allows you to survive and then, deal the damage at the end. Okay, so this is it for this episode. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.